Anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, Dom. So there's a million angles where we could start here, right? Like, I actually feel like, for the sake of the show, we should probably start with something good. Something good. So, okay, everyone was waiting the whole time. And you know what? I'm getting sick of this format. Like, old school reference. This is like Peanuts when Lucy just fucking puts that football up and old Charlie Brown, oh, she's going to let me kick it this time. Runs up and kick. That's Fnatic every fucking time against G2. What happens is they'll win some BS BO1 against them and you'll look, oh my God, Fnatic is back. Maybe they can actually challenge G2 this time. I was saying this to Monty. Bro, if you were ever going to beat G2, do it in the best of 3. That's your best possible chance. You basically have to be good for one game and then just have like a close game that you somehow win. Mate, this team, I don't think G2 even played that well in this series. But good, every time Fnatic did anything positive, it immediately turned into something negative. Like, they can't win fights, they can't find angles, they just get fucking popped all over the place. Humanoid's just doing nothing in some of the... if you had hope in Fnatic, this one series just drained it, didn't it? Like how are you supposed to believe they're going to go to the final and beat G2?
Yeah, I mean, I think no one believes it. When you watch LEC right now, you're like, okay, who's going to come in second? Because no one's going to even get close to G2. I mean, watching the Fnatic series, the thing that's so weird about it is, like, you feel like G2 should recover in like 2 plays for every single 1 play that they have bad, but instead they just like instantly recover every single time and everything is like completely fine. You can go into the game and you see Caps get solo killed in like the most dry way possible by Humanoid's Oriana. Like, he just walks up, doesn't know his damage. He probably hasn't played much Aurelion Sol. It's just coming into the meta right now. Big fan of, you know, APA probably in LCS, the superior mid lane, best Western mid laner.
Definitely not Chovy. It's all APA. It's all APA. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, so he's just watching APA VODs like on repeat. He's like, holy fuck, this looks so OP. So he hasn't played that much Aurelion Sol, dies in like the most dry way possible. There's nothing on it. Like, yeah, I'm just like 200 damage off on my like solo kill estimation, like whatever. And then Humanoid just gives it back instantly. Like, like, that's 5 minutes into the game, Caps gets solo killed. 10 minutes into the game, Caps is like 3-1. It's like, how the fuck? Like, this is a scaling champion. He's just back in the game completely, and he just runs away with it afterwards. And especially just the way that Humanoid gave that kill, like the flash into the turret. It's so fucking ugly,
so
man.
Close,
like,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Every single person, like, I was in the call with like 4 or 5 people, and as soon as he did, every single person just groaned in the same way. It was just like, oh, like, we're really just flashing like that. It's so easy to fucking get back into the game for G2. So I don't know. When I watch teams play against G2, it feels like people have just been beat by this team for so long that it's like an inferiority complex. Like, people can't even conceive of possibly beating them, and they just are playing not to lose. They just don't have that like killer instinct. So it's pretty tough to watch that. Also, the thing I was noticing about this series is this just proves how reliant this Fnatic team is on Razork. If Razork has like an average series or like a mediocre series or a bad series, they can't even compete. Like, they're not even close to competing. When he was playing at an insane level in winter, they got 4th place. They didn't even beat Mad Lions when Razork was playing insane. So if he plays bad, it looks like the team is completely shot.
Yes. I even thought, actually, that was one of the most depressing things about this series, is like, that would be your first win condition, like Razork outplay Yike. By the way, not impossible in this series. It's not like Yike was some monster in this one. Like, he had a few mispositions and stuff. But mate, I actually thought that like game-ending play that Razork had in game 2 was typical of what Fnatic was like in this series. Because if you remember, like, Fnatic thought, we've got like the numbers, let's do a re-engage, and Razork went balls deep on that inhibitor, right? Go back and watch that VOD and just watch fucking Humanoid, who's taking a top wave, walk from Narnia all the way over, and by the time he even arrives, 2 people are dead and the game's basically over. It's like, what's this fight? Like, you're in your base. It's just a inhib, there's no tower. Like, that was the game. They essentially traded Humanoid getting some top wave creeps for the game.
It just feels like there's no grit. Like, that should not be a situation where you can ever end the game for G2. Like,
no, exactly.
We're like, as Fnatic, you should be trying to lose the minimum. It's like, oh, actually, we're kind of out of position. Just give them mid inhib. It doesn't really do anything for the game. Like, G2 is ahead. They should need to like execute a Baron play. Then with the Baron, they can maybe push, get another inhibitor. It should take them like another 10 minutes to end the game. The fact that it's a 21-minute game just shows like a complete lack of just of like the ability to just fight. Like, you need to make them sweat it out. You can't just give it to them. Like, give them like, give yourself a chance for the enemy team to make a mistake. It felt like they were just so over the game. It looked literally like a forfeit. It looked like they were actually forfeiting.
It was like in StarCraft where you just do the I quit, like GG, you're out. Because here's what's mad. Game 1 was obviously the mega stomp down from G2, because as we're talking about, even if Fnatic would get a kill or start a fight, it's like they had to work so hard to get 1 kill and chase someone, and then G2 would just be like, 3 kills for us. And then it was just like that the whole game. And then game 2 was the one that should be like back and forth. There's chances. Mate, here's why I think you're right, that like not only in LEC officially, but I can tell in scrims, Remain is going to post that fucking thing, and again, it's going to be like 80% win rate. And here's why. Because, dude, Razork looked just desperate in this game. It just looks like he really thinks I have to go for any fucking angle. If there's any like chance to get on, so I've got to go for it. And mate, the other thing as well is G2 is just so much better in this series at team fighting, bro. It's fucking insane. Like people, it's not even like it's always the same person. Could be Humanoid, could be Noah. There's always someone disconnected from the fight or fucking backpedaling when everyone's going in. Like Fnatic don't even believe in these team fights, mate. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the draft, and game 1, I was actually kind of hyped for Fnatic. I'm like, damn, they went Ashe Rumble bot lane. It's one of the most aggressive bot lanes you could possibly go.
You see it in LPL a whole bunch, yeah.
We see it in LPL, and then the team that played it recently was KT. KT played this with like Beryl and Deft. They played the Ashe Rumble, and they went Lethality Ashe and all this stuff. And it looks literally unlaneable. Like Ashe is one of the strongest early game ADs, and Rumble is like the most broken support when it comes to early game. And they were just even farming. They didn't even have an HP advantage. They weren't chunking like Hans and Mickey. Hans and Mickey are just even farming when they're playing the Lucian Nami. I mean, it just felt so weird because they drafted aggressive shit and then they didn't even play aggressive with the pick. So it's like, you guys don't even believe in what you're picking. Like if you're going into that series and you're picking that, you should be going into it with the mentality of like, we're going to fucking shit on them. We're going to chunk them out. We're going to dive bot. We're going to make their life hell. And there was none of that. Like they lost a 3v3 bot lane, which was honestly Razork's fault, but just the conditions of the game, they weren't in a situation where they could really punish. It felt like, oh, enemy team is just completely fine bot lane and they're just going to outscale with Lucian Nami.
I also feel like it's been the same way. Everyone thought in the BO1s, this is the real Fnatic. Finally, they got it all together. Bro, that was just the fucking, remember, we only play 9 games. That was just like the fucking flash in the pan, mate. That was the blip on the radar that you eliminate from the graph. Like, this is the actual pattern, you know. Mate, the problem with this team is they can never seemingly get like 4 players to play well in the same game. It just doesn't happen. Like I thought in some of the games, Oscar had some good moves. He had times where he looked like he was doing something, but then someone else would be being shit in that game, or Jun would do nothing, or Humanoid wouldn't even be in a fight, or he just into a kill like that, like you say, give a free mid lane advantage away. It's like there's always something going wrong for Fnatic. Like they don't seem like they actually have the core hit. Like I really wonder actually about their shot calling in a game like this, mate. I bet their comms are messy as fuck.
I mean, I think the main thing is like you look at this team, and if I were to ask you what is Fnatic's playstyle, you have nothing to say. There's no like you look at it's like I mean, I guess we kind of like play Cassante top and a mage mid, and Razork carries the game or something. Like there's nothing that they do.
which by the way is not a game plan. It can't be like and point 3 Razork carry the game. Like that's not on the whiteboard.
They don't have like any identity at all. It's like
true.
It's one game they're playing Lucian Nami, then sometimes they're like a Varus team, then they're playing Rumble Ashe. Okay, are you playing like, are you an aggressive team? Does Oster just play weak side? They just have no consistent game plan. So like they do everything at a kind of mediocre to shit level. And what you get is just like these random ass games that have no, like the reason why teams like to have an identity or a play style is because then they know what they should be doing in the game, but they have no actual game plan here. It's like they're not used to diving bot. They don't play strong side bot, like proxy them, try to deny the AD, kill him, dive him over and over again. They don't play that style of League of Legends. So when they have the conditions where they can actually do it, they don't know how to leverage that as an advantage over the enemy. It just ends up being shit.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.